Okay, so I can walk you through how to dial in the reset on Johnny Glock's Competition or Combat Evolution X. We've switched over to a smaller set screw back there. So this is a 035 hex wrench that comes with all these kits. You're going to insert that back in there, and you know, we leave them kind of calibrated in the middle, but this is a competition setup, so we're trying to really get as much as we can. So if that's the case, you are going to, and you can see this is a little bit hard to move because it has been Loctited. We're going to move it clockwise, and what happens is that gets in. If you see how the trigger bar is moving forward and backward, trigger bar forward, trigger bar backward, trigger bar forward, trigger bar backward. Now we're trying to stop that trigger bar from moving backward, and that thereby stops the shot after it breaks. So it's like it serves two purposes. It gives you no over travel and the shortest reset as possible when you have that dialed in. Okay, so now see, this is not breaking, which means I went a little too far.
Too much.
So if that's you, I'm going to show you a trick right now, and you have to have 3 hands to do this. You're just going to rack it and put up your slide catch, because the gun needs to look like this, okay? I have to hold it in place, and then I have to come in here like this with this hand, push down, and this is funny to do it by yourself, and then take my fingernail, pop this out. So there, pull the striker out. Now you can remove the slide, all right? Another way of doing this, and I'll show you because it's a lot quicker. So what you can do is you can take a small little tool. So there's same thing, it's not breaking. You can take a little tool, like a little jeweler screwdriver, and you're just gonna insert it right back through the back plate. And then you're going to, here's what you're doing. You're sliding it through the back plate and you're going on that, and then you're gonna push that down. That's what you're aiming for. So slide through the back plate, push the back of the cruciform down. And so now what you're doing is you are manually breaking the trigger, okay? Just make sure you have a little pressure on it right there, because otherwise you'll just be going down onto the drop shelf. That's another very easy way to get in there if you run into that problem. So took a little bit too much out. In, so I'm just going to back it out, and these are like 2.5 M pitch or something like that, so a little bit goes a long way. And you can really dial them in, because that kind of pitch, you know, that little pitch, that little increment just moves it in the slightest bit. But you don't want to have it so tight that if the gun heats up or you get sand in it or something like that, then it's going to go back to the way it was. Okay. So I'll show you the way to really make sure you're not going to run into that problem, because there is a way to do that. So now when we reinstall, now it breaks. And that was literally, what, 1/8 of a turn, maybe 1/4. So now when the trigger breaks, it doesn't move any further back, and then that's your reset. That's all the more that trigger is moving.
That's nice. That's a hiccup.
So I try to outrun it. So okay, let me show you this little trick. In a Glock, you have what's called a slide to frame relationship, a ratio. So Glocks are combat weapons. You can hear that movement. So basically, I can push down on this slide, and what's going to do is it's going to bring the slide and the frame closer together. Or I can pull up on this slide, and that's what your magazine does. When you install your magazine with your ammo, it's going to increase it. So if I want to double check that I have a nice tolerance on this and I'm not going to run into trouble in a competition, I'm going to put pressure down on this and then go to break it. And so the fact that it is breaking while I'm doing that is telling me that we have the tolerance that we need. You might get a little glitch in it. You might feel like it'll hang for a second. There'll be a delay. If you feel a delay in that process, take the slide off, and I'm talking like a 1/16 of an inch, a 1/16 of a turn backwards. That's how you really dial these in and get the most out of them. And this is a competition rig we're doing for Julie. So, but if it's a combat, if it's something you're defending yourself with, you want to give yourself room to move. You don't want to push it. Competition, you're trying to, speed, you're trying to push the gun as much as you can and still be reliable.